Alright, so today it looks like we're starting off our notes with two lines. I'm going to call this A and B. And I'm going to write this statement right here. A, 2 lines, B. Can somebody tell me what that statement means? What does that statement mean, Haley?
A is parallel to B.
Very good. Line A is parallel to line B. Now I'm going to come along and I want to cut my parallel lines with a line. What is that line called when you cut a parallel line? Kiara. Very good. So please draw a transversal on example number 1. Here is our transversal. We'll call that T. Transversal T. Transversal T and a set of parallel lines creates how many angles? We talked about this yesterday. 8 angles. I only want to focus on 1, 3, 5, and 7 right now. I'm going to focus on angle 1, angle 3, angle 5, and angle 7. Our first vocabulary word for today is corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are in the same position based on the transversal and they are congruent angles. Highlight corresponding, same position, and congruent. Those are the key words. So corresponding angles are in the same position based on the transversal, and they are congruent angles. What does congruent mean? Equal. Ishra? Equal. Alright, so corresponding are based on the transversal and on the parallel line. So let's look at angle number 1. So I have angle 1 right there. Let's describe its position based on the transversal. So angle number 1 is to the left of the transversal. Actually, all of these angles are to the left of the transversal. So it is to the left of the transversal. Now we need to think about its relationship to the parallel line. It is on top of the parallel line. 3 is below it, and we know that they're not equal. Now let's look down here. Is 5 to the left of the transversal?
Yeah.
Is it on top of the parallel line?
Yeah.
Then that means they are in the same position. So by the definition, these two angles are corresponding because the measure of angle 1 is to the left and on top of the parallel line. Angle 5 is to the left of the transversal and on top of the parallel line. So the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 5. Because they are to the left of transversal and on top of the parallel lines. That's the Y. They're both to the left of the transversal and top of the parallel line.
They're out there in the hallway. We're good. Hopefully.
Now let's look at angle 3. Angle 3 is also to the left of the transversal, but it is below the parallel line. So that's why it matches with 7. So the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 7. So the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 7. Okay. Now let's move on to our next example. If I draw this symbol on these lines, what does this symbol mean? Parallel. Good, I heard it. Nice job. Thank you. So they are parallel lines. Now I'm going to cut them with a transversal. Okay? And I'm going to form 8 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would like to name a set of angles that correspond. How about angle 2? What does angle 2 correspond with? Enough? Very good. So one statement you could say, there are many statements we could make, but we can say measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 6. They are corresponding because they are to the, how do we describe their position?
The top of the transversal.
Okay, they are on the top of the transversal, and they are to the what of the parallel?
Bottom of the parallel line.
Right. They are on the right-hand side of the parallel lines. Right of the parallel, right of the parallel. Corresponding because they are to the right of the parallel lines and on top of the transversal. All right. Before we move forward, let's refresh ourselves on supplementary angles because they're going to be very important moving forward. So supplementary angles equal how much?
180.
Equals 180 degrees. So please draw a straight line. What is true about a straight line? It's 180, right? All these degrees on the top here are 180. Now I'm going to cut that. I'm going to have a ray going off there. A ray going off here. And now I have 1, 2, 3 angles. What do all 3 of those angles have to add up to?
180.
180. So if this is 60 degrees and this is 80 degrees, what does that have to be? This is 60, 80, this must be?
40.
This must be 40 degrees. Why? Because 60 plus 80 plus 40 equals 180 degrees. Supplementary, 180. What else did we talk about when we talked about supplementary? We talked about another type of angles. Angles that add up to 90.
Oh, supplementary. Complementary.
Complementary. So, let's have complementary angles below. Complementing someone is the right thing to do. And it equals 90 degrees, just like a right triangle. So please draw a 90 degree angle. You can use look at how you can use your ruler. Everybody watch. See how there's my ruler? Go like this, and then also see 90 degrees stands for corner. I just used the corner of my ruler, and I created a 90 degree angle. Sometimes you will see this symbol that stands for 90 degrees. Now I'm going to cut my angle. Little angle bisector there. Over here I have 35 degrees. What is the other angle? It's complementary, so they both have to equal 90. 90 minus 35 is 55 degrees. Because 35 plus 55 equals 90 degrees, which means it is complementary. the last type of angles was our graffiti yesterday. Vertical. Who remembers the definition for vertical angles? Vertical angles. Ishraq?
When the angles are like opposite. No, yeah, opposite.
They're opposite each other and they share a...
Corner.
They're equal to each other, they're congruent. They share kind of a corner, it's a vertex. Okay, so vertical angles are congruent. That's what makes them special. Congruent means equal. Now draw a X. I'm going to tell you that this is 113 degrees. What angle is the vertical angle? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
2.
Very good. 2. Angle 2 right here. This is the vertical angle. So they are both 113 degrees. They share a vertex. They share a point. They are opposite angles. I'm going to write that below here. Opposite angles that share a vertex. Okay, now let's end our notes on this page with one big example where we pick a set of corresponding angles, where we pick a set of supplementary, complementary, vertical, and even alternate interior and alternate exterior. So we'll start by numbering our angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want to talk about angle 2 and angle 5. I would like to identify angle 2 and angle 5. What type of angles are angle 2 and angle 5? Corresponding. So please write that. Corresponding. Next, let's identify angle 4 and angle 8. 4 and 8. What kind of angles are they? Sid? Very good. I'm just going to write alt, and you can do the same. Interior angles. I just abbreviated it. Please feel free to do that if you will know what that is when you go back to look at your notes. How about angle 5 and angle 7? Angle 5 and angle 7. Let's see, somebody who hasn't answered. 5 and 7? You already answered, but vertical is correct. Yes, all right, vertical angles. Thank you. How about angle 1 and angle 2? Angle 1 and angle 2. Ishraq.
They are alternate exterior. Wait.
They're both exterior, yes, but there's something else. Exterior isn't one of our vocab words, but yes, they are exterior. 1 and 2, Sid? They are adjacent. Very good. I could write adjacent. They're adjacent and they are supplemental. Adjacent and supplemental. How about 2 and 7? 2 and 7. 2, 7. Ishraq, enough?
Alternate exterior.
Good. Alternate exterior. Now I'm just going to highlight the different angles here so that when I go back and look at this, they kind of stick out. So 2 and 5 are corresponding. They are both below the transversal and to the left of the parallel lines. 4 and 8 are alternate interior angles. 5 and 7 are vertical. 1 and 2 are adjacent and supplementary because they make a straight line. And 2 and 7 are alternate exterior. Alright, on the back of our notes, we have a reminder of what alternate interior and alternate exterior angles are. Please cut your parallel lines by this transversal. I am going to tell you that this is 119 degrees. Who can tell me what this angle has to be? If that one is 119, what does this have to be? These are not congruent. These need to add up to 180. So 180 minus 119 is 61 degrees. Okay. This angle, its alternate exterior angle, is down here, and that is also 119 degrees. I'm going to highlight that yellow. You pick which color. But 119 and 119 are alternate exterior. 61, alternate interior to 61 degrees right there. These are alternate interior angles. Highlight them a different color. So alternate interior, alternate exterior. Okay, everybody stay with me on the next example so you draw it correctly. Here's your parallel line. Draw a transversal that is perpendicular to the parallel line. Perpendicular means it forms a right angle. Okay, so draw a transversal that's perpendicular, so it looks like a 90-degree angle. That's the first transversal. And as promised, we are going to add a second transversal. So I am now going to add a second transversal that looks like this. Another transversal that looks like this. Now we are going to number our angles. So this is going to be 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Off to the side, please make a list so we can fill in how much each angle is worth. Measuring. I am going to tell you angle 1 is 44 degrees. Angle 1 is 44 degrees. Looking at the picture, can anybody tell me any other angles that jump right out at you? Haley? 3? What is 3? 3 is 90. Yes, look, this symbol right here means that it's 90 degrees. So angle 3 is definitely 90 degrees. Enough.
Angle 4 is 44 degrees.
Okay, why did you say angle 4 is 44? Because
Vertical to angle 1.
very good. 4 and 1 are vertical. So it is 44 degrees. Very good. Ishraq.
2 is 46.
2 is 46. How did you figure that out?
So like I did 90 plus 44 equals, wait, I forgot. 134, yeah. And then I did
So 44 plus angle 2 equals 90.
yeah, no. Yeah, 44 plus 90 equals 134. Because I did angle 1 and angle 3, I added them.
Oh, okay, you did it as a straight line. So you said angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Very good. Angle 1 was 44. Angle 2, we don't know, so we'll call it x. Angle 3 is 90, and that has to equal 180. And you figured out that x, which is angle 2, was how much?
46.
46 degrees. Very good. It also works if you notice that angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is also a right angle right here. So that means 44 plus angle 2 equals 90. So that means angle 2 has to equal 46. So we just figured out angle 2 two different ways.
I don't know.
Can somebody else tell me another angle that you know just by looking at this picture? Just by looking at this picture. How about this? Angle 3
corresponds to what angle over here? Angle 3 corresponds to,
Eight.
Kayla?
9.
It corresponds to 8, but angle 3 and angle 9 are also equal because they're alternate interior. Alright, so angle 3 and angle 8 are equal because they correspond. Angle 3 and angle 9 are equal because they are alternate interior. Alternate interior. Inside the parallel lines, and this is the transversal. What's special about 7?
I think,
Ishraq?
wait, they're, what do you call it, adjacent? They're supplementary.
They're supplementary, yeah. 7 and 8 have to equal 180, so they're both 90. Which means 10 is 90. We are missing 5. 5 and what angle are vertical? 5 and 2?
Yeah.
And we know 2 is 46. So that means 5 is 46. And then lastly, 6 and 3 are also vertical. So angle 6 is 90 degrees.